is Jen. Welcome back to my channel. I am here to give you guys my February TBR and also talk about the 48-hour Evilathon readathon that is happening this month. So the first book that I am going to read in February is I'm going to be finishing the one that I started at the end of January, and that is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. The synopsis of this is that Elantris was a beautiful city where all of these gods lived. They were these beautiful silver-haired people who were able to help the people of the country. The other people would come and worship them and ask them for help, and they could just do it, help all the people, and make everyone's life a lot better. And then it says that 10 years ago, something horrible happened and all the gods died, and the city of Elantris is now in shambles. Evilathon, the country where Elantris is on the brink of war, and the newlywed princess of Evilathon is trying to help prevent the war from happening. Isn't there always a country on the brink of war and a corrupt, terrible king in every fantasy book? Typically, not that I'm complaining, I enjoy it, but I just think it's funny. I'm about 40% into this one now. I haven't gotten a lot finished of it lately because I've just been really busy with work and just other life stuff, so I hadn't had a lot of chance to read. I do also have this on audiobook from my library, and I do have kind of a long drive I have to do later today, so I'm hoping to get a pretty decent chunk of this finished today on my drive. The second book that I'm wanting to read in February is The Hand of the Sphinx, which is the second book in the Books of Babel series. I just finished the first one, Sunlin Ascends, this past month, and I did not read the synopsis for The Hand of the Sphinx because I kind of just want to go into it blind because it's going to pick up right where the first one ends. So I'm not going to be spoiling or telling anything about what is coming in the second book because I don't even exactly know. Sunlin Ascends was amazing, and it's about Sunlin and his wife. They go to the Tower of Babel for their honeymoon, and pretty much as soon as they get there, he loses sight of her and he cannot find her. So throughout the book, he is trying to find his wife, and he's going through the tower, the different levels that each have like different increasingly dangerous threats and their own kind of system of governments that he has to overcome, and it is just a wild ride. I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed that one, so I'm super excited to get into the sequel as well. And then the third book's already out and the fourth one's coming out in November, and I can't wait. The next thing that I'm going to be doing in the month of February is I'm going to be participating in the 48-hour Evilathon that is hosted by Kasha's Book Cemetery, and this is a 48-hour reading sprint with 4 prompts, and I've never participated in any readathon at all before, so I'm really excited to set my TBR, see if I can stick to it, and interact with people during the sprints, and I think she said she's going to do a live for it as well, so I'm excited for that. The first prompt is paranormal romance. Read a book with a romance that includes a paranormal creature. So I somewhat changed this because I didn't have any books on my shelf about romance, and especially not any with paranormal creatures in there, unfortunately. So I changed it a little bit, but I don't think Kasha will care because she seemed pretty relaxed with these prompts and just kind of letting it work for you. So for this one, I have picked The Forbidden Game by L.J. Smith. This is about a girl named Jenny who gets sucked into this very dangerous game by this boy named Julian, and it's basically just a house of horrors that she has to make it through, and if she loses, then Julian gets to keep her forever. So I was kind of stretching it a little bit. It kind of sounds like Julian's probably into Jenny a little bit, so kind of a romance there. Probably the worst type of romance, but that is what I picked for that prompt. This is also going to be my first point horror book. I've never read any before, but I also follow the Bookubus channel, and she's always talking about all of the point horror books that she has, and I'm really excited to read this one and see what it's all about. The next prompt is Love Spell. Read a book with magic, witches, rituals, cults, etc. Again, I'm not exactly following the rules, but my book does have a supernatural element for sure. I have chosen The Cipher by Kathy Koja, and this is about a supernatural hole that just opens up out of nowhere, and our two characters, Nicholas and Nakota, are trying to figure out what it is, what's inside of it, what's going on with it in general. So the funny thing about this is that I listened to the Books in the Freezer podcast, which is hosted by Stephanie at That's What She Read, and they were talking about this book, and what she said was, you know, they find this hole and they start doing what you would obviously do when you find this random hole that pops out of nowhere, and my first thought is they put their dick in it. And then she immediately comes on and says, you know, they put a camera in it to see how far down it goes, what's in it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes way more sense. So I embarrassed myself in my own head, and I decided I had to read the book to find out exactly what was going on with this hole, and I can't wait to see what it is. The next prompt is slashed, watch a slasher film. For this one, I'm actually going to copy what Kasha chose for this one because I have not seen it, and it's My Bloody Valentine 3D, the remake. I've never seen either of the My Bloody Valentine movies, so maybe I will watch both. And I'm very excited. I always love a good cheesy slasher. They don't have to be great quality for me. I love my B movies, my B horror movies. If you guys have any suggestions for those, please let me know. I love them. So I'm really excited to watch that too. The last prompt for the readathon is Love is Short, read a novel, short story, manga, or graphic novel. I was a little sad that I didn't have any unread graphic novels or manga on my shelf because I just love manga and graphic novels. They're such quick reads, but I always get pulled into them so quickly. I did end up picking a novella, and I chose Where Stars Won't Shine by Patrick Lacey. I've had this one on my shelf for a while, and I keep meaning to pick it up, but I just haven't gotten to it for some reason. And this book is about Ivy, whose boyfriend is murdered by a serial killer. That's not a spoiler, that's right on the back of the book. She decides to go back to her boyfriend's hometown where he was murdered to get closure. And I just want to say, Ivy, sweetie, have you never watched or read any horror? Don't you know that's a terrible idea? So that's where this one takes off. And it's pretty short. It's only it's under 200 pages. It's only 177 pages. So that'll be a quick read. So these are all the books that I'm going to try to get finished in the month of February, along with The Hand of the Sphinx. I just don't have the physical copy with me yet. Why are these not lining up? There we go. And I think this is pretty doable, especially since I read 8 books in January, which is insane for me. I definitely think I can handle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including Hand of the Sphinx. And I really need to finish Elantris very soon. All right, but that is it for my February TBR and my Evilathon TBR. I will link Kasha's original video in the description below. And if you guys decide to participate in the Evilathon and make a TBR or a vlog about it, let me know. I might try to vlog it a little bit, but I've never done that, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And until then, I will see you next time. Bye.